Welcome back to Master Gaming Studios. I'm Craig.
And I'm Connor.
And today we're going over a unit you guys requested. It is none other than the Sporocyst. We will take this with, open eyes.
Half seriousness.
This unit has some true potential, but I think it's just an absolute troll of a unit. And,
Sure.
a meme
Sure.
of a unit.
Which we like, so we're going to do it.
We'll call it I don't want to call it a bug toaster, but it's kind of like a toaster.
Okay, how?
It spits out the spores and...
Right. It doesn't make a ding like a toaster, but...
It could.
It might make a weird
Maybe it makes a
high-pitched
weird
noise.
screech and then the spore mine spits out.
True.
Anyway, what do you guys call them? Spore mines, spore launchers, sporocysts,
Whatever you call them, we're covering them.
Let us know. Anyway, if you think this video will be fun and you'll get some enjoyment out of whether you are serious about wanting this review or trolling us for doing this review, let us know in the comments. Please like this video for us doing this, and of course subscribe if you haven't yet already. Helps out a channel like us grow and get pushed out to more users on the YouTube platform. With that being said, let's get into the video. What we will cover today is the model profile. We will go over the Sporocyst. We will also touch on the spore mines and the Mucolid spore because they kind of go hand in hand. Mm-hmm. We'll go on some ways if you really want to buff these models, make them even a little bit better than they are.
If you want to be a meme yourself.
We'll go over some tactics for the Sporocyst. I'm being serious. There are some good things in here. We'll get to them.
Totally.
And a conclusion at the end.
Sure.
So let's touch on Sporocyst. So Sporocyst is a fortification.
Right. Important to say, actually.
Important to say.
They don't move. You cannot move them, actually.
Move them.
They will stay in the exact same spot the whole battle.
There are 115 points of stuff, biomass.
Sure.
They have a weapon skill of 5 up. A ballistic skill of 5 up.
Yeah.
They are a whopping strength 5, and it degrades all the way down to 3.
Huh.
A solid toughness of 6.
Sure.
They got 12 wounds.
Yeah.
And D6 attacks.
Leadership 7, 4+ save. So,
it's
a weird profile, that's for sure.
It's a weird profile. It's slightly less durable than a Trigon.
Wow.
But not by much, actually.
That makes it sound stronger than it is, actually.
Makes it sound better than it is.
Yeah.
So you got 3 gun options on it. You can be cheap and take the Death Spitter. Mm-hmm. So you'll be rocking 15 shots because they have 5 of them.
Yeah.
You can do the Barbed Strangler. So you have 5 D6 shots and they're blast. So if somehow you get this thing to shoot a unit with 11 models, that is a fixed 30 shots, which sounds pretty good.
Yeah. And
you can reroll or add 1 to hit rolls for this weapon,
which helps a lot.
Actually, that is big.
Makes it
that you can get that off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say it right now. If you are playing against guard, or other Tyranids, this thing could be insane.
It actually would not be a joke. Yeah.
It could also be a weird counter meta thing to the new AdMech. Because AdMech are all about running big blobs of 20 now.
Oh,
We could see a shift in the meta and the Sporocyst could rise to the occasion.
Sure.
I doubt it, but
probably not.
It does add 20 points to the model.
Right.
If you want to do that, because it's an expensive gun.
Right, and then the Venom Cannon, so it would be 5 Venom Cannons?
5 Venom Cannons.
For 9 points each.
Yep.
So it would add even more points on.
45 points.
And the Venom Cannon is 36-inch range, D3 shots.
Yep.
Even it's assault, but it can't move, so it doesn't matter. So basically it would be 5 D3 shots at strength 8, AP minus 2, D3 damage, and this also has blast. Now, like you said before, the thing that's not a joke about this thing, I mean, its guns could actually be useful against swarms.
If you can get a gun off, if you can
hordes.
get these things to shoot, I know they're only Ballisto 5.
Yeah, but like you said, the Barbed Strangler...
+1 hit on 10 or more.
Yeah. So if you're fighting a horde or guardsman, this could be okay.
It could be fun. Now, the other key piece of this is why I call it the toaster, is you got the spore node. So this is it's a heavy one. You get one shot with it. We'll go down the rules and talk about it.
It has no strength, no AP, no damage.
Nope. It's basically you fire off spore mines, similar to the Harpy, the Biovore, and you get just those two. Yeah. Harpy and the Biovore. You launch off spore mines. If they hit, then you roll the die 2 through 5. They take D3 mortal wounds. On a 6, they take D6 mortal wounds.
Just not anything to scoff at.
No, it's some good potential there.
Yeah.
If you miss, then you plop down some spore mines, wholly within 6 inches and more than 3 inches from any other enemy model.
Right.
Same way with all the other rules for Biovores and Harpies. So every turn, so you can do that on top of shooting. Yeah. Because you can shoot all your guns.
Right.
So the only problem is it's only 9-inch range. So that's if you're shooting at something that close, either they fail to charge or they're getting a little too close for comfort. However, that is not their only way to get spore mines out. Right. They can also just spawn spore mines on top of it. So you can choose to spawn 3 little spore mines, and you have to deploy them within 6 inches of your Sporocyst. Right. Or 1 big Mucolid spore.
Which is not a bad thing to spawn.
I mean, if you can keep these around, those are just free points that just keep on building up. True. So there's some things. They have 2 more special rules. We're going in reverse order here, but 2 more special rules. They Psychic Resonator. If there's a Synapse creature within range of them, 12 inches of them specifically, then they get the Synapse keyword and put out a bubble of 12 inches for Synapse.
So that's another actual use.
It's not,
They can spread Synapse.
They can, they just, beacons of Synapse, and it's not bad. Yeah. Finally, Bombardment Organism. So these guys, if you don't know fluff-wise, they fall from the sky. And with that fluffy rule, you can deploy them anywhere on the board during deployment as long as you are 9 inches away from enemy deployment zone and an enemy model.
So you could stick them right in the middle of the battlefield if you want. Yes. Don't.
We'll talk about ways to deploy them later, but just going over all the special rules I have. Yeah. Now, we'll have to talk about a little bit the spore mines. Again, we've been over these before, but they are spore mines. They have strength and toughness 1, 1 wound, 1 attack, and a mighty 7-up save.
Jeez. I've never seen anything else with a 7-up.
There was something else in 40K that had it.
A long time ago,
like
right?
Crute?
Maybe.
Crute or something, or Cultists at one point. Poxwalkers might have had at one point, but very rare.
Something.
The way this works, spore mines, they have that living bomb. So again, if they any charge within engagement range, then they can explode.
Right. So you'll shoot them out of something, usually a Biovore or Sporocyst. Yep. And they land, and they float towards.
They cannot charge the turn they land.
Which is unfortunate.
So they sit there. They move block, that's key for them, and then you can charge it and explode. Right. You can also buy these separately, and you can deploy them, but they have a nice rule where you have to deploy 12 inches away from an enemy model. Right. And they only have a 3-inch move, so good luck.
Most of the battle. Yeah. Moving.
And, well, no, you can't. I was going to say, you could use Swarm Lord to move these guys, but you can't.
You can't.
Not the turn they arrive, at least. Right. Anyway, we got the big boy, the big Mucolid Spore, who's actually the same size of a Swarm Lord height-wise. Oh. Standard Swarm Lord on the ground, not like my big one. Right. They can also deploy. They have to deploy 12 inches away from floating. Their explosion is a bit scarier, so theirs goes up to D6 mortal wounds if you roll a 6. Right. They also have 3 wounds a pop instead of 1 wound each. They've got a mighty 6-up save as well.
Hey, it's not 7.
And they're toughness 3, so your bolters aren't wounding you on 2s or anything.
Right. That's definitely something to brag about.
Again, I'm not a big fan of these ones as much as I am the little spore mines, just because it's a single model. Right. And its D6 damage is, D6, so you could roll a 1 if it actually goes off.
It's more than double the points, and it generally won't do much more than the small ones.
No, I
Generally.
don't think so. I think on average it's doing about the same.
Yeah.
So that's those guys. We've covered them. Now let's go some ways to buff up our Sporocysts. I would never recommend it, but if you still want to, Dermic Symbiosis, give these guys a 5-up invuln save.
Yes, you can do that. You shouldn't.
You shouldn't. Yeah, you shouldn't.
Yeah, you shouldn't.
I was trying to think for a second. Can you actually? Hold on. So yeah, you could use it. You could also, if you want, do Voracious Ammunition, which I think actually is not bad. And if you kill something in the shooting phase with one of your guns, you do an extra D3 mortal wounds to them. To one unit. So you can't like split your guns and do D3 mortal wounds everywhere.
A bunch of stuff, yeah.
One unit that you hurt, you actually have to do damage to it.
Yeah.
Takes an additional D3 mortal wounds.
I mean, if you're gonna buff them with something, that would be, I think, what you do with, because their only real strength is shooting.
Yeah, mortal wounds on mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Now, if you're desperate, Pathogenic Slime for 2 command points, +1 damage in the shooting phase. Like, we could get crazy and say, you go up against, I mean, like a block of 10 Space Marines, you use that and you have Barb Stranglers.
Yeah.
So now your block of 10, you're doing your, what is it, 6 times 5? 30 shots. I can do math. 30 shots at hitting on 4s, wounding on 3s, AP -1, 2 damage. That would actually probably kill a good chunk of the squad.
Yeah, I mean, you'd hit with 15, you'd damage them with 9 or 10, and then 2 damage per shot.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
There's ways to make the shooting even better, though. Some Hive Fleet support. So, you know, if you want to think about your actual Hive Fleet you're putting them on and buff them up even more, Biosphere Consumption is an interesting one out of the custom Hive Fleets. This is the only reason I would ever use it, but I wouldn't build your list around it for them. That's the one where if you stand still, you get, for a monster, you get 6-up Feel No Pain.
So it always gets 6-up Feel No Pain?
Always gets 6-up Feel No Pain.
Huh.
Something.
Yeah, that is something.
Better ones. I just want to point that out there.
Yeah.
Metamorphic Regrowth. Heal a wound each turn. Solid.
Solid. Pretty good.
Synaptic Augmentation is reroll a single hit roll with Synapse. They technically, if you're within 12 inches of Synapse, they can give off that Synapse bubble.
Synapse,
So not only will they get the reroll, but anything within range of them will also get that Synapse bubble.
Right, okay.
Something. We're working here with what we got.
We're trying our best.
Finally, if you would like to take a better version of 6-up Feel No Pain,
take
Leviathan. But also, if you want some better shooting, Chronos. If you stand still, reroll 1s in the shooting phase.
It's not bad.
You have to stand still.
It's not bad, yeah.
It's not bad. When you get the volume of dice, you're going to roll a lot of 1s.
Yeah.
You're going to roll as many, well, theoretically, you're going to roll as many 1s as you do 6s.
Right.
So with 15 shots, you're going to get, on average, 2 6s, which you could convert to an extra 1.
Yeah.
Again, we're fishing here. It's something, but...
all of these are attempts to make it a little better.
Make the Sporocyst great. So let's go into tactics because, like I said, we're not just trolling, or you guys are just trolling us. There's some real tactics behind the mighty Sporocyst.
There can be.
So the Sporocyst is a good support unit. We talked about its Synapse bubble, but its forward deployment is going to be key in how you use that.
Probably the strongest thing about it.
Strongest part about it.
Yeah.
In a way. So deploy on an objective. You're already on objective. Some of the games are ones, now you can't raise the banners with one of these things.
No, but you can footprint the objective.
Yeah, some of your secondaries are, you know, if you control more than half the objectives, or control half the objectives or more than your opponent.
Yeah.
If turn 1 you're already on the middle objectives,
helps.
Your opponent has to kill those things.
True.
Otherwise, you're out, or you're giving your opponent 3-4 points next turn.
12 wounds, 4-up save to chew through.
Yeah. Again,
solid.
so it's something.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you can. What I I think I would lean to, if you could do both of these, great. Deploying out of line of sight of any of the big scary guns. Now you're pumping out spore mines to just move block a turn. Maximum 6, you probably won't do that for most of the turns, but you put out 3 spore mines in your first turn, and then the next turn they float up, and now your opponent has to deal with them. And then the next turn you put more, and your opponent has to deal with them, and you keep that going as long as possible. And it will actually turn to the point where if your opponent doesn't actually dedicate some real firepower to them, they're going to hang around longer than your opponent wants. And any anti-tank shot that's not going at your bigger, true scary bugs is pretty good in my book.
Yeah, true.
So finally, they are cheap. I think actually if you bring like 2 or 3 of these, put one on each flank, it will, I mean, your opponent will have to deal with at least one of them.
Right, and I suppose with 2 of them, there would be a lot of spore mines.
It'd be a lot of spore mines.
A lot of shooting you have to dedicate.
It would be up to 12 spore mines a turn that are
There you go.
And these are free points.
Right.
So I know spore mines not a lot, but you could get an extra 100 points in your list at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
But I don't think they're competitive.
No.
I wouldn't.
No, not at all.
If you think we're wrong, let us know.
Let us know in the comments.
But that's my opinion. Now for the spores themselves, I think they're great. Like we said, for the move blocking, their mortal wounds are a way to deal with those elite. So custodians or custodies, they're gonna be annoyed by this.
Oh yeah.
I still think they will chew through. But all of these mortal wounds going off.
It's just like, I know they're not called bolters, whatever the custodies have on their wrist. I mean, you have to use one of those shots.
Use them to deal with it.
Yeah.
Are they hurricane bolters or do they have a different?
It's their own thing. I forget what it's called.
I know. I've only played custodies
once.
I think I've played against them once. Sure. Absolutely demolished. But that's
you got or they got?
I did. It was in a tournament. That was a top game.
That's right.
So
gotcha.
Lost to a top, I think got 5th. Top 5 player.
There you go.
Anyway, like I said, I wouldn't play the spores on their own. I don't think bringing spores to deep strike in or anything is worth it.
No.
Use them as free points as a byproduct of the other units.
Basically, meat shields.
Meat shields.
Lower than gaunts, as far as meat shields go.
Yeah. Yeah, they could shield your gaunts.
Yeah.
They could.
they can't move in front of them because the gaunts are faster, but.
So, like here, we'll touch on it a little bit. Deploying the spores, biovores, harpies, sporocysts are your ways to spit out the spore mines. I have seen some lists on the internet that use like 2 sporocysts, 9 biovores, 3 harpies, just a wall of spore mines.
I mean, that would be a fun battle.
I don't know what
I'll tell
happens.
you that.
I don't know what happens in that sort of game. Do you create enough spore mines where
that
your opponent just can't move? And you're like, I'm going to get as many objectives as I can in the first few turns before my opponent just chews through all the mines?
Yeah, I guess that's probably what it is, what it goes down to.
In that case, I would buy a couple pairs of spore mines if you can, and then deploy them in just like strips. So your opponent has to chew through them.
I mean, it'd be fun, but it would be annoying for your opponent for sure.
I don't have enough spore mines to do that, nor do I own a true biovore, harpy, or sporocyst.
And there are reasons for that, but
there are reasons for that.
Yeah.
But again,
it'd be fun.
Technically, you can use the spore mine or the swarm lord to move your spore mines, not the turn they arrive or are set up. But if you really want, and your swarm lord is bored and doesn't have anything else to do.
Right. Send it an extra 3 inches.
An extra 3 inches could get you an extra D3 mortal wounds.
True.
Or just send Swarm Lord in.
Just throw them in.
Just throw them in.
Most likely.
So, conclusions
it's a quick one today.
On the big boys or the big guys. Is a fun model.
Totally.
I don't own any, so I can't truly play it out. But their spore mine production, if your opponent underestimates them, it could be an absolute troll to them. I feel there are 2 mindsets to it because I could see a new player says, what is that scary looking bunker thing?
Looks like something from Aliens.
And then it starts spitting out units and your opponent's like, oh gosh, I gotta kill it. And then they will focus towards it, which is great.
True.
Then they're dead. Or they're the mindset of, hey, I only need, 2 melt-the-guns to kill this thing. I'm
Good
gonna
point.
avoid it, get my melt-the-guns in there, kill it, and that be that. Also, your opponent, if they're playing very assault-based army, can use these against you, so be careful.
How so?
Because these things can't fall back, you could have a unit of assault marines, terminators, vanguard vet could charge into this thing. They're not worried about you doing real damage to them.
No.
Maybe they'll lose 1.
Maybe.
But then they stay locked in. They try not to kill you, so maybe they only tag you with like 2 of them.
Oh.
You can only fight. They can only fight with 2 of them, and then they consolidate around it.
Oh, they keep themselves safe.
They bubble. Yep, keep them safe from other shooting.
Huh.
And then on your turn, they use all the weapons, smash it to pieces, consolidate towards you even closer, and then on their turn they get to move.
So basically, against noobs, or if you're having fun, or I just thought of this. Narrative campaigns. I think they really have a home there.
They have a home. The fluff.
If you're going, let's say you're playing Space Marines in a narrative campaign, if you're going against Tyranids, it's got a great fluff.
A great theme of them plopping in on the ground.
I mean, it's like decorating a narrative board with an actual unit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're a terrain piece and they have
a unit.
Some role in it.
So there you go. There's some extra reasons to use it.
There's some other reasons. Though, so I put this on here, they're $65 for one of these things.
Whoa.
So if you're new to Tyranids, I would buy a long list of models unless you really want them.
Well, this comes as a kit with the pod, right?
Yes.
So if you really want one of these, just don't make it this and use it as a pod. It kind of looks similar. They have similar guns.
I think they're very similar. I think there's a way you can magnetize it. So you can play it as either or. Mine are both set as pods, but maybe I will buy one and figure out how to magnetize it and get a video out for you guys. So that way, now I can have 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I can play them as Sporocyst, or I could play a big mass drop pod assault type game.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, that's the Sporocyst, a fun unit.
A fun unit.
From the Tyranid Codex. What did you guys think of this review? Were you guys just trolling us? Did you really want to know the tactics of the Sporocyst? They're there. Yeah.
I was kind of going 50-50 on that, the answer to that question, because there are some rules that some people might not understand.
So that has been our review of the troll of a Sporocyst. Let us know in the comments again. What do you think of them? Do you use them regularly or just bring them out for fun? Please like and subscribe to these videos. We really like having the support from you guys, and it helps encourage us to put more content out there. With that being said, I think we are done today. Thank you guys for watching and have a great day.
Thanks for the meme, guys.